Alright, welcome to another video from the chart readers. So as normal, we'll start on the NASDAQ looking at the daily. We'll look at the moving averages first and then get into the lower indicators later. It was a pretty dominant day today on the negative side. It looked like the morning was going to start all right, actually. We'll look in the hourly very quickly, but I do remember thinking when the day started that we might be making a good run over that 11.5. And if you look, we peaked, I think at over 11.6 today, right? So there was points where we were definitely making our way up. It does look like obviously we got slapped down, and really what does suck is we closed below the 8. So remember, you want to be above this green line. Above the 8 is good, below the 8 is bad, and clearly we closed below the 8 today, right? Now, the big thing is confirmation, right? So, I think in the next day or two, maybe even tomorrow, we'll see what's going to happen here, right? But there were points where it looked like we were going to try to go over this 50. Again, this 50 test right here was the first time since April, right? You can barely see the last time it happened right here on the screen. But we had one test here. We've now have two tests here. Again, it takes a couple tests to break a moving average, right? Either up or down. So, hey, we've at least seen two tests. I don't know if we'll see a third one or a fourth one, but at least we're making some attempts at this 50. Overall, in between these two channels, we're kind of sitting in the middle, right? We're a little bit closer to this 10.8 number than this 12.2, but yeah, we're definitely working our way down. Really, we'll see what tomorrow does look like. Again, it does really suck that there were points of what looked like a solid break of the 50 and a run up, 11.6 over that 11.5 number, to where we basically slapped down back to this 11.3 that we've been talking about, right? Let's take a look at the the indicators below. The MACD does look like it has a little bit of a curve down going. Nothing significant, but nothing really spectacular happening there. Interesting. Okay, so the RSI is now below. So, right, it's actually been below this red line for a bit. You always want the green above. And really, you want both of them to kind of be doing the same thing, right? It's not great that the MACD is above and the RSI is below. Nonetheless, it looks like the RSI might be trying to creep up, but it's not really even curving up. It's more flat, right? So nothing too definitive on this daily. I will say it kind of looks like, I'll say this much. Tomorrow, what we're going to need to do, we have to close over 11.4. We got to get back over this green line, this 8 moving average. So if we don't close above 11.4 tomorrow, that could be signs for a bad week. But immediately, what we do need to do is get back over this 8 moving average for the NASDAQ. Let's just take a quick look at this hourly. Yeah, look at this, right? So the day starts with a gap up, and really the first 4 hours are relatively okay. This 5th hour, it just destroyed itself from basically 11.6 working its way down to 11.3 pretty much the last 3 hours of the day, right? So I'm not exactly sure why this happened or how this happened. I don't know if there's any major... I have no idea. I will say this. Next week, they're supposed to talk about the interest rates. So I know a lot of people have been worrying about a full 0.% going up and stuff like that. Look, I don't look at the news too much, but obviously if there's something like that happening, I do like to know what's behind it. But overall, nothing significant with our indicators. And at this point, it looks like we're going to be working our way down unless we can get over the green, which is pretty much sitting exactly at 11.4. So that will be the goal for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the SP 500. Take a look at the SP 500. Really, same story, almost the identical candle shape. So it looks like we closed below the 8 as well on the S&P 500. Again, you want to be over the 8. That is definitely a very big important thing to be. We tested our support line, it looks like, and then again, we also had moments where it looked like we were going to fly and like maybe work our way towards this 50. You can see we actually haven't hit the 50 on the S&P since, what is that? Actually, again, April. So where the NASDAQ has actually hit it, the S&P has still not hit this 50 moving average line, so not even a little minor test. From there, it looks like the MACD looks roughly the same. And actually the RSI looks the same too. RSI looks a little more negative here. It looks like there's more of a downslope than a parallel line there. So interesting there. And then real quick, DJ30. Overall looks like same story. And wow, look at that. So actually it does look like the Dow Jones has officially touched this 50 moving average line. So I'm going to zoom out a bit. Yeah, actually it hit it early May as well. But the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones have hit this 50 line. You can see again, this line looks like it crossed it. The S&P 500 has not just yet. It also looks like, yeah, just barely, but again, we are below the 8, so all three need to regain the 8. That's going to be an important move for tomorrow. If we don't regain the 8 across all three, that could be signs of a poor week. But really, the lower indicators don't have much going on. There's nothing definitive up or down, so I would say start by looking at the day. I don't like that the hourly, and again, I imagine the same thing happened here, right? Yeah, the last close of the day really ended it. So normally I say watch the start of the day because that should dictate how the rest of the day goes. It's interesting to see that was clearly the opposite here, right? So nothing too definitive, but I think I'll just stress the caution more than anything because really we had a chance to break a major line. We failed it, and we failed by closing under the 8. So a little bit of a double whammy negative. Yeah, I think that's really all I'm going to say because I don't have too much more to interpret. On that point, one of my plans next week is going to actually be to improve the view that we're looking at. So I don't know if I'm going to add one more layer of indicators. I might tweak around my moving averages just a bit, but I'm going to add a little bit more here to help make some better predictions. One of the comments that I got was that my chart reading is a little vaguer than ideal, and some of that's intentional. I don't want this really to be financial advice and blah, blah, blah. People get mad if they lose money, blah, 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 right? I'm going to give you a little bit more info, but really for me to give more info, I need some more indicators because really, I kind of like you saw here, right? There's only so much I can read, and though this is a lot more than most people do read, we could still use more to get better info and get better reading. So that will probably happen next week. But just a quick foresight. And then one more thing that will be coming soon, I'm going to start reviewing specific stock tickers. So that's not going to be daily. It'll be semi-regularly though. My plan is to start with a couple major tickers, but if there's any specific request, hey, feel free to shoot me a note. But that will be coming soon. So yeah, I hope you're learning. Again, stay safe. Overall, we are in a downtrend. And look, everyone failed the 50. Everyone is under the 8. That's not a good place to be. You at least want to be over the 8 with all of them. So trade safely, and I'll make another video tomorrow.